My name's Greg Buck. I'm the department chair for the Tech Ed department, and I'm here with Mrs. Cassel, who is filling in and helping us out once again for the Tech Ed department. She's been in multiple times. She does an awesome job. She's in for Mrs. Buck, and she's going to talk to me about her classes. We did an interview for this project.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Patricia Cassel. To your children, my name is Mrs. Cassel, and I am presently a longer-term sub here at the high school. My experience with Cassel School District has spanned over the past about 15 years. In this time, I have done numerous substituting positions and a few longer-term sub positions. My initial bachelor's degree was in industrial arts, the area that I am now, which is now called technology education. A lot has changed since I graduated 40 years ago from college. Hard to believe it's been that long. My children have gone to this school. I've been affiliated with the community, and what I want to say, partly due to the parents and partly due to the way our community works so well together, these are absolutely the best students in all of the neighboring districts. Cassel District really takes care to give them the best of education. Now during the COVID, note that we are all wearing masks. We have stayed safe, and all the teachers, as part of the responsibility, is cleaning the room and everything that the students have touched while they are in class, between each class and after the last class of the day.
What programs are they using in Yearbook?
They're using a program set up by Jostin, which is our supplier of Yearbook, and the program that they use is Layout Pro, which is similar to Photoshop, or with editorial in it, built into it, that it can lay out like newspapers and yearbooks in this case.
And how are the kids handling learning this new, because it's new this year, right?
That's correct, or at least elements of it. Elements of it are, and there's a lot of tutorials online that help them at home and here at school. The older girls are very familiar with something called the ladder, where they set up every page at the beginning of the year as to what they want covered in their yearbook. Now, we all know that things may change due to the type of climate we're in, so there's other things that can be inserted that Jostins is coming up with to help them fill a yearbook.
Awesome. And what about the young kids that are just learning and getting involved in this course for the first time?
To date, the younger students were working on things to close out last year, mailing out the supplements for one, and getting them to everyone who had ordered or prepaid. Then on top of that, they were assigned by our editors a layout page that is just a practice page. Some of the girls are doing it, some aspect of their life or a club they're in, and they're just practicing with Layout Pro and their own photos to make a nice page, a nice layout.
And what would you say about the cohesiveness of the group, or what kind of other skills or traits they're learning?
Wow. This yearbook, I don't think I was aware of how much is involved. One, they have to map out every activity that goes on through this school and assign people to photograph it, interview people, collect the photos, the interviews, and put them together in then the final pages in the end. They are now presently contacting businesses because they need sponsorships to help supplement the cost. Parents are being notified, students are being notified. They're constantly writing ads and sending out flyers. It's just amazing. They're actually learning how a business is run, let alone how a yearbook is put together.
So what is your second block class that you have?
Second block of the day is digital photography. To date, digital photography has been dealing with learning how to use Photoshop. And I'm not talking about something that you would just have on your home computer. The Photoshop that we use here is CC, it's high-end, it's just like they use in the industry. That's why they do tutorials at home and just take notes, but actually to practice the work, they have to be in the lab.
And are they using taking pictures to use yet, or will they be taking pictures, and what will they use for that?
This past week, they started to download pictures. Most everybody has a phone or a camera phone, and nowadays the cameras that are in our phones are higher end than cameras were even 10 and 20 years ago. You can take, and I'm teaching them how to change the settings in the settings app of their phone to take better pictures with the camera that exists. Adding their own photos to the tutorials and doing the elements of correction that Photoshop has in their lessons of the day. They are starting to collect photos to be themed into other projects. Initially, where they're doing a photo collage, and then later they'll be doing specific activities with the camera and submitting specialized photos.
And your third block, or your last class of the day, is digital design.
Digital design and print media. Now, although digital design starts in the lab on the program known as Adobe Illustrator or InDesign, and actually, if the students advance enough, they might even be applying some of what is in Photoshop to their projects. They will start by designing. Right now, we're starting on logo designs this coming week, and how to use, starting from a thumbnail sketch, scanning it, taking it to the computer, changing it into a vector artwork, which hopefully your students are learning, or the kids are learning, that it's actually the printable image, and no matter how large this image is made or how small, it never loses its focus. So it's the state-of-the-art type of program to change drawings into printable art.
What's the final output for these kids in this class? What will they be producing or making, and what will they do in the lab?
They're going to be taking anything that they design here in the lab, in the computer lab, and a lot of it will be digitally sensitized onto plates for printing on the offset press, or screens for printing t-shirts, making decals, business cards, and things like that.
Thank you for joining us with this podcast with Mrs. Cassel about her experiences in the Tech Ed department this fall.